Hey everyone, welcome to episode 80. Nope, wrong. Episode 91 of Franco's World. It's just me today. It's just a solo episode. So if you're new, because um I'm recording, I have a recording going. So if it looks a little different, if it sounds a little different, I have a new mic setting because I'm recording on video today. You can follow me on YouTube, Franklin Miller. That's my name. And so solo episodes, if you don't know, I have like 4 or 5 topics, and I give a quick story or maybe riff material. I riff a lot of material in the solo episode since I can't get out and do actual stand up. I do my virtual shows, but that can only go so far. If you don't follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Franco's World underscore. If you do follow me, thanks. If you just recently got unfollowed by me, don't take it personally. I have not talked to you since high school. You have not retweeted anything of mine since Vietnam, and we don't owe each other anything. So you got the boot. If you're a woman and I unfollowed you, I promise it's not because you recently engaged or married or recently had a kid. And it's not because, like, oh, she's not single. That's not why I unfollowed you. I unfollowed you because I have not spoken to you in years. So we don't know each other anything. So don't take it personally. It's strictly business. Let's keep it moving. We're all adults here. All right. So yeah, I'm recording today. My background, Yao Ming, life-size poster. How many people can say they have that? This is a Finish Line ad from the early 2000s. My grandma got it for me somehow in Beckley, West Virginia. So shout out grandma. Speaking of family, I'm back home in my parents' house. I had to move here after the pandemic, or after the pandemic had started, I guess. This is not like a rant, like an out of the world story. I know a lot of people that had to do this. I'm not in sort of a failure to launch scenario. This is just circumstance. This is where I'm at. And I'm trying to make the most of it. However, being back home, it means a few things. It means that me, coming from a very religious family, um, I'm going to have to go to church. Sorry if you can see my knees. I just realized that. Thank God I moisturize my knees daily and they're not ashy, because that'd be weird. I'm trying to get the knees out of the frame. But sorry about the knees. That's not a professional look. So being back home means a few things. It means I'm gonna have to go to church. All right. And I'm not saying going to church is a bad thing. I'm not saying being a good person, doing the right thing, which religion at its core is what it's supposed to be, is a bad thing. I'm just saying it gets to a point where it becomes too much. And you know what I'm talking about, because there were point in times in my life where it was a little bit too much. My father was a pastor. He wasn't a condemning type of yell on a college campus that we're all going to hell type of guy. He was a good guy. Okay. I have to, because people have negative connotations with religion. I have to say, he's a good guy. He would go to the prisons. He'd go to the crack houses. He would go to the downtrodden people and try to give them a positive outlook. That's the type of guy he was. He was actually he would never condemn anybody for anything. Okay. I have to say that. And he doesn't even know I have to say that, but I have to say that because he doesn't know his lens and where my lens is are two entirely different things. All right. So he's a good guy. This has nothing to do with him. Growing up in a very religious household, it meant a few things. It meant on Sundays you got to go to church, and where I'm at, like, I'm technically in the Bible Belt, all right, but West Virginia in the Bible Belt is like that first belt loop, all right. So look at it like an actual belt. Nobody really uses that first belt loop unless you're a really thin person, or it's just like the wrong size belt. You're like, it's not like it's there, but nobody really uses it. That's where West Virginia is in the belt loop. But they still, much like the rest of the Bible Belt, they still have that intersection between religion and politics. And I'm not going to give an opinion here. This is not me doing a whole thing. It's just fact of the matter. So every church here is First Lutheran, First Baptist, First Methodist, First Episcopalian. I don't think there's a First Catholic, but and they always have signs out front, like the guy out there changing them, like he's changing gas station prices. And before the election happened, they were like, pray for our leaders. It's a good thing. I think praying for the people, if you're a religious person, praying for the people in power over you, probably a good thing. And then after the person they wanted to win lost, that message was gone, and then it changed to God is still in control. So, are you really praying for the leaders, or just praying for the leader you like? That's the question I have with the local churches. Let's say First Methodist of 42nd Street. If that's a real church, my bad. But I'm just saying, I can't get behind the intersection between church and politics. I just don't think that's a good thing. I know a lot of churches do it, man. Growing up, every 4th of July round service, Memorial Day, Veterans Day, they we're doing the Pledge of Allegiance, we're singing America the Beautiful, and then you're praying. And it just I don't like when those things intertwine. They should be kept apart. Okay. But my parents are very religious people, and growing up, I had a TV with 3 channels on it, three and a half really. So if there was a certain amount of leaves on the trees, I couldn't get one channel, and I got ABC occasionally. Remind you, this is rabbit ear television with tinfoil on it, but it's also I'm in 2006. It's different times, uh, and so there's no SNL, there's no Tonight Show because it's Sunday. So you got to watch on Fox. You had Family Guy, American Dad, The Simpsons. That's funny stuff. It's network television. It can only be so dirty. You can't really. You can say hell once maybe on network television. Like you can't. Like it's not that dirty. But every time I lived in a long ranch home, and every time I heard footsteps about to pass by my doorway, and you had to keep your door open, couldn't lock the door. I would sit in front of it and change the channel and be like, change it over to Dateline NBC. And my parents just think I'm a well informed, 10-year-old. That's what I did, man. That's the type of games you had to play whenever you're a kid growing up in the household that I did. You know, and even now, like being back here, man. Like my parents want to watch a movie twice a week. They want to have movie night, but they like hate it when movies curse a lot or if there's a sex scene in a movie and stuff like that. And it's hard for me to find a quality like story based movie or an action movie without that type of thing in it. Like I've watched Cars 2 8,000 times with them. I can't watch Cars 1 because he says I'm in hillbilly hell and I'm in the middle of nowhere, West Virginia, and they take offense to hillbilly hell because they look at their surroundings and they're like, "Oh, well, he's talking about us," and I didn't like that. So I can't watch Cars 1, I have to watch Cars 2. Um man, but I go big time with movie night, man. Movie night with me is an experience. And I hope you, the listener, get to experience that one day. Because what I do for movie night, man, I get on YouTube and I have like a 5-minute countdown, like those old um drive-in movie theater countdown things where it's like the show starts in 5 minutes. The show starts in 3 minutes. And it's like, get your popcorn at the snack bar. We also have hamburgers and Pepsi. I play that. So we talk, get on your phone, do whatever you need to do before the movie starts. I dim the lights, not all the way, just enough. Okay, so there's a little. And then I'll maybe play a trailer of a new movie coming out or play a trailer of an old movie that I haven't seen yet and maybe you haven't seen it, and we'll watch that, and we'll maybe like, oh, I think I want to go see that. The other day, I just watched The Nice Guys. That movie came out in 2016. I watched that last night for the first time. That is now a top 10 movie for me. It was hilarious. Action, a who done it, like try to find out what's going on, break the case type of thing. Um, a ton of comedy. Ryan Gosling's character, and that is hilarious. And there's enough story to keep it interesting. There's so many layers of the story and twists and turns. Really got into it. So check out The Nice Guys if you haven't seen it. It's hilarious. Every 5 seconds, Ryan Gosling's like, ah! His funny high pitched scream. That's a funny guy. Very underrated funny guy. Very funny guy. And Russell Crowe is in it. He's the other guy. And he and I have the same birthday, April 7th. Back to the parents and movie night. I've seen Cars 2 a billion times, and they love Denzel. My dad thinks Denzel is the best actor in history. I have watched every Denzel movie twice because there's not really sex scenes in Denzel movies, and he might curse a little bit, but not that much. Well, American Gangster, he curses a lot, so I keep that one away from my dad. Essentially, I have to go on commonsensemedia.org, okay, a site that's used for teachers, an overly strict parent, or just a concerned, cautious parent. I have to do that as a 24-year-old man for my 65, 60 plus year old parents to make sure, count how many curse words are in the movie, count how many times you see bare breasts in a movie. If there's any of that, mom is walking out the door. One nipple, see ya. That's just what happened. And one time she got so mad at me because somebody said hell in a movie or something like that. And she was like, you just, yeah. And I'm like, Mom, like, this is everyday life. Like, that's not even a bad word. In the Bible, it says it 1,000 times. You have to throw the Bible thing at them. That's how you get them to make them think it's okay. she's like, well, you just need to have respect for other people's beliefs. What do you like? That's the type of like, I don't know what type of psychological term they're throwing out on TikTok these days about emotional manipulation and trauma and gaslighting, but I have just been my whole life I'm terrified of my mom for some reason. Because I cannot watch anything without it saying one minor curse word and I'm like looking over my shoulder and I'm not going to get punched. All right? She didn't hit me. This is metaphorical. Okay? But back to Denzel. We've seen The Equalizer, Equalizer 2, both very good movies. We've also seen every Liam Neeson movie under the sun. And I gotta tell you, folks, I'm running out of options. So if you know of a good actiony whodunit, we love a whodunit, like a murder mystery, that isn't too vulgar, it's not too in your face, that I could watch with it. If it's something I could watch with a child, can you please like let me know so I can watch it with my very much not children parents? Okay, thank you. I literally have to be the guy. Like I'm putting on parental controls for my family. I'm blocking MTV from my family. This is the type of stuff I go through. MTV was blocked for me growing up. And then one day it became unblocked. And then I got really into Robin Big. Oh man. I don't mean to harp on my parents. They're really good people. It's just funny. That's the type of stuff they did, man. Wasn't allowed to listen to a lot of like not clean music. I'm trying to think. Did I do the POV? Did I do the I don't know if I did the POV of let's just do a POV. I wrote a POV sketch. I'm writing one and I don't if I did do it, I'm cutting it out. If I didn't do it, I'll do it right here for you. So POV is POV growing up in a very religious household. Did I do this? I people listening to this are like, "No, you didn't. Just say it and stop beating around the bush." So here's POV. You grew up in a very religious area, and your one friend who's kind of into it finally convinced you to stay over at his house. You were lenient because his lunch is ham and cheese sandwich with the crust on it and celery and peanut butter, and yours is grips. You remember grips was like cookies, but in a bag. It was like you know what I'm talking about. Grips and Uncrustables. Got a lot of cool stuff. And he finally convinced you it'd be cool to stay in the night at his house. I can't. I had to have done this, right? If I'm repeating myself in my own episode, I'm gonna die. But I'll just cut it out. Okay, here we go. I'll be Bobby. You be whoever. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, my mom said you could stay the night, but you have to go to church with us in the morning. She said you could just wear my clothes, so it's fine. No, I'm not allowed to watch SpongeBob. He runs around in his underwear. My parents think he's gay. My parents think he's gay. There were parents in my hometown that would not let their kids watch SpongeBob because they thought he was a gay man. That tells you anything about my upbringing. My parents let me watch SpongeBob all day. But you're telling me the guy who has a never say die attitude, always wakes up with a smile on his face, works really hard, and is a really good friend and will be there for you when you need him. You can't watch that because you think he's gay. Do you know how soft that is of a mindset do you have? Do you know how sad it is to live like that? Gosh, now I'm yelling at people who I haven't talked to since I was in elementary school. They don't deserve that. Maybe they've changed their mind. Let's see here. I got other stuff. I got to talk about COVID stuff. I got to talk about COVID stuff. COVID precautions. Let's talk about COVID precautions. Things that I can't believe we did before the pandemic: share drinks with people. I didn't do that before the pandemic. I'm not going to do it now or after. If you're my girlfriend, I guess it's a little bit differently, or you're my future wife, I guess it's a little bit different. But say this like out in public, in college, like back in the day in college, like college parties, West Virginia University, classic party school. During my time there, you go to a party and a girl's like, "What is that?" And it's like, "Oh, this is X, Y, and Z, not ecstasy. This is X, Y, and Z. Insert drink here, not ecstasy." And I'm like, it's XYZ. She's like, can I try that? I'm like, no, you can't. This is mine. You may not try my drink. Even my guy friends, it's like, yo, bro, what is that? Like, oh, this drink. This is that drink. Oh, I haven't had that. You want to try that? No, I don't, because that's yours and I have mine. And you can't. I don't want to. I don't want to do that. That's not crazy for me. Like people, dude. I am a germaphobic person. I have a hand sanitizer. I'm right by my bed. I have a hand sanitizer bottle by my bed. I have a hand sanitizer bottle in my car. I have one in the kitchen. I have one in the living room. Dude, if my OCD tick is me being cleanly, like, sue me, man. Some people pick their nose. Some people bite their toenails, man. Like, if my addiction is being clean, then that's fine. People eat sofas. People eat mattresses. My strange addiction. People eat paint. I'm clean. I'm a clean person. And I'm not like overly like I'm not scrubbing the tile floor with a toothbrush. I just like to be clean as a person. Like, oh my gosh, my whole life people have just said I'm like a crazy person. I remember I went on a couple dates with one girl, fizzled out. I was in college. A couple dates, that's it. No big deal. But we ended on good terms. Acquaintances, mutual friends. It'll be fine. And I see her for the first time in like a year at a West Virginia tailgate. And she's like, hey, how's it going? I'm like, oh, it's good, whatever. And she's like, come here, come over to my tailgate with my family. Okay. And she goes, this is Franklin. He's a germaphobe. That's how you introduce me, as a germaphobic man? How about just say, hey, this is Franklin? I'm a germaphobic man, dude. Like, I'm not like cowering in fear over germs. I leave my house. I talk to people. People think I'm a crazy germaphobic man because I wash my hands before I eat. If I go on a date, if I'm with a group of people, and I leave the table every time, like almost like the same time. It's always after I order, and then I wait a few minutes because the food's being prepared, and it's like, okay, I time it, so it's like I wash my hands, and by the time I come back, like the food will be there. I'm sorry I got to leave you at the table all alone, but like I'm not a crazy person. I wash my hand, and I don't get mad at them for not doing it. I wash my hands before I eat every time. Even if it's something simple like chips, I will wash my hands before I eat. That's not a crazy thing to do. I wash my hands after I use the bathroom every time. This is not a crazy thing to do. Okay? People think I live in La La Land because I do this. It's not weird, I promise. All right. Um, I disinfect my phone sometimes, and my laptop sometimes. I turned a couple of my friends onto that because I showed them the amount of bacteria that these things carry. Are you kidding me? Of course you're gonna have to wash that sometimes. You'd be crazy not to. Or clean it, not wash it. I'm not dunking it in water. I'm not a crazy person. All right. I swear I'm in touch with reality. But I always shower before I get in bed. And that's been a topic of discussion for years. I had like a year-long girlfriend, and she wouldn't always shower before she got into bed, and I was like, well, I'm doing that. That's what I do. And it was a topic of contempt almost. I'm just thinking like it wasn't bad, like we're going like out, like walking in the wilderness and jumping in mud and something like that, but still, like, think about it like this. I have a lot of listeners in New York City. You're riding the train that they're just now started cleaning for the first time since the 80s. They clean it every day. Or riding the bus that they clean finally for the first time. Or you're walking by a group of people, a million people on a street corner in New York. Smoke, this, that, the other, all over your skin, your hair, your clothes. And you're going to jump into the bed with blue jeans on? Are you kidding me? Burn the building down. Jumping into the bed with blue jeans on. What are you doing with that? This isn't Alberta, Canada in the 80s. Leave the denim at the door. Don't get into the bed with your outside clothes on. Don't get into the bed with your outside clothes on. That's not a crazy thing to ask of someone. I just like to, like, dude, oh my God, it's so much better for you, health speaking and skin wise. If you get, like, if your bed is not disgusting and not dirty. I don't know why I feel like I'm a crazy person by saying this. Think about like all the precautions that medical professionals will do now that the pandemic has happened. Think about it pre-AIDS epidemic. So what dentists and doctors were doing pre-AIDS epidemic were just washing their hands, taking their rings off, wash their hands, and going to work. Someone's working on your lateral incisor barehanded. This is before AIDS. Then AIDS became a thing and they started wearing gloves. And now this is a thing, and now they're wearing masks, which they always were wearing masks. But now they're wearing a face shield. Now they're wearing like this overcoat type of PPE. Morgan, that's going to be commonplace. I feel like that's not a crazy thing. Like, I want the healthcare workers to be more safe. I want to be more safe. This is not a crazy thing to ask. Like, to wear more protective equipment like that if you're in the medical field. I don't know, man. Maybe I am a crazy person. Maybe I am wrong. I've been told a lot that I'm just too negative all the time, and I don't find the positive in things. I'm always seeking the negative. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe sharing drinks with a random stranger is a good idea. Maybe it'll build up your immune system, as opposed to eating right and exercising, getting proper amount of sleep, and staying hydrated. Maybe I should just share drinks with people. Maybe I should just let doctors work on my teeth without gloves on. Dude, I'm not a crazy like I know it's bad optics to have the hand sanitizer by the bed. I know it's bad optics, but this has been here for months and it's essentially full. Okay? I know it's bad optics. I know it's bad. But and I know I'm not getting vats of toxic sludge poured on me in my sleep. I know that. I know that. It's like it's like you. So you. Yes, you. You go to bed with a plastic water bottle every night and you drink half of it and you hide the rest behind your bed. This is my water bottle. It's just there. It's part of my nightly routine. It's there. No, I'm not dunking myself in it. I'm not bathing in it. Maybe I'll put some of my hands before I go to sleep. But that's after I do the rest of my nightly rituals. And I have a long list of nightly rituals I have to do. I don't want to, like, I'm tired of feeling like a crazy person because I like to be cleanly. Simple as. I lived by myself throughout college. Place was spotless. I would take offense if my friends from my hometown or friends from different colleges and I knew they were coming to my college town. I would take offense if they decided to stay at another person's house over mine because I mean, yeah, I had a one bedroom apartment, but I had a big living room with an incredibly soft, comfortable, big couch. I'm like, my place is so clean. It's the perfect home for you, and you just choose to go somewhere else. You choose to live in filth. You got to move bongs over, tons of beer can. You have to move beer cans so you can lay down. You choose to live there on a couch that got picked up out of a garbage bin from the 70s. All right. I'm not a crazy person, I promise. And whenever somebody says they're not crazy, they're crazy. Did I talk about social media yet? Because if not, I got to talk about that and then I'll get out of here. Let's see. Valentine's Day was recent, so props to you if you and your loved one made it one more Valentine's Day. Mine didn't, but that's okay. No, if I unfollowed you recently meaning within the past week, I don't want you to think it had anything to do with Valentine's Day. And I think I might have talked about this a little bit, but again, if you're a girl, it's not because you got engaged or you're married or you're having a kid or you're pregnant or anything. I'm unfollowing you because I have not talked to you in 5 years in person. You don't owe me anything. I don't owe you anything. Let's keep it moving. Um, Valentine. It just happened to be around Valentine's Day. I know a lot of people, girls will like get on their high, guys too, will get on their high horse and be like, "Oh man, I lost so many followers after I posted a picture of my significant other." I promise you, that was not the case. That wasn't the reason. But I hear the UPS man coming, and I know my dogs are gonna freak out. And I have the mic turned all the way up, so I don't want you guys to listen to that. So I'm going to close it out here. Thank you for listening to today's episode. Keep taking care of yourselves and each other. In the meantime, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at francosworld_. Subscribe to everything, okay? Subscribe, like, do everything. The rocket ride is, I'm in training to get on the rocket to take flight because we're number 92 in Austria, number like 150 in the UK, and number 200 something in Germany. So Dankeschön to two of those countries, and thank you, I guess, to the English speaking country. All right, thank you guys for listening, and hope you have a good day. I'll see you.